What if I told you that aging isn't really about the number of candles on your birthday cake? What if it's actually about what's happening inside your cells every single time you eat? Today, we are diving deep into how simple food choices can fundamentally change the speed at which you age. It's a journey right into the hidden mechanics of your own health and longevity. So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. Is aging a choice? Now, I know that sounds a little extreme, but the latest science is telling us we have way more control than we've ever thought possible. Of course, we can't stop time from passing, but the rate at which our bodies break down, well, that's a whole different story. And the secret isn't in some far-off futuristic technology. It's right there on our plates, in the choices we get to make every single day. You know, the entire foundation for this conversation comes from the incredible work of 3 separate Nobel Prize winning scientists. What's amazing is they weren't even working together, yet each one of them uncovered a fundamental key to how our cells work and ultimately how they age. So here on Tov Shiha, our whole goal is to take their brilliant, world-changing discoveries and put them right into your hands, connecting them to something incredibly practical: the food you eat. We're going to look at this as one single blueprint for longevity, and it's built on 3 core pillars: calming inflammation, fueling your energy, and activating your body's deep cleanup crew. Each pillar really builds on the last, and together they create this powerful synergy for your health. So let's start with the scientist who basically drew the map for us. Okay, first up, we have Dr. Bruce Butler. He's the one who showed us how our own immune system, our greatest protector, can actually accidentally accelerate aging through something called chronic inflammation. Then there's Dr. Peter Mitchell. This is the scientist who decoded how our cellular power plants, the mitochondria, create the energy that fuels literally everything we do. And finally, Dr. Yoshinori Osumi, who discovered autophagy, the body's incredible built-in recycling system that keeps our cells young. 3 totally distinct discoveries, right? But as you're about to see, they are all deeply, deeply connected. All right, let's get into our first pillar and see how this all builds: calming inflammation. I want you to think of this as learning how to quiet a constant blaring false alarm that's going off inside your body. An alarm that's just draining your resources, creating chaos at a cellular level, and aging you from the inside out. And scientists actually have a name for this state now. They call it inflammaging. It is a silent accelerator. And look, this isn't the kind of helpful acute inflammation you feel when you, say, sprain your ankle. That's a good thing. That's your body sending repair crews to the scene of an injury. No, inflammaging is totally different. It's this persistent, low-grade hum of immune activity that damages tissues and messes with your metabolism, all because your body feels like it's under continuous attack. So what's pulling the fire alarm over and over again? Well, Dr. Butler's work helps us understand this. It so often starts in our gut. Picture your gut lining as this super tightly controlled border wall, right? Its job is to let good stuff in and keep bad stuff out. But the modern diet, high in processed foods, can weaken this wall, creating tiny little gaps. This allows these bacterial fragments, they're called LPS, to literally leak into our bloodstream, where they absolutely do not belong. Our immune system has these incredibly sensitive smoke detectors that spot these fragments and immediately sound a 5-alarm fire. The huge problem is, with a constant leak from the gut, that alarm never, ever turns off. And this is where our choices become so incredibly powerful. On one side, you've got the triggers: processed foods, unstable industrial seed oils, refined sugar. It's all just fuel for the fire. But on the other side, we have the foods that sound the all-clear signal. Fiber-rich plants feed the good bacteria but help heal that gut barrier. Healthy fats from things like olive oil and avocados send calming signals. And then there are polyphenols, these powerful compounds in colorful plants, like the resveratrol in red grapes or the catechins in green tea. They don't just protect our cells, they actively help the immune system stand down. It really is a choice between fanning the flames or putting out the fire. Okay, so once we've quieted those alarms, what's next? Well, the next step is to provide the right kind of fuel. This brings us right to pillar number 2, powering your cellular energy plants. Because every single protective process in your body, especially fighting off that inflammation, requires a massive amount of energy. So, meet your mitochondria. These are the tiny little power plants inside your cells. We're talking hundreds or even thousands of them in a single cell. And their job, as Dr. Peter Mitchell discovered, is to turn the food you eat into currency your body can actually spend. When they're working well, you've got abundant energy for repair, for thinking, for just living. But when they get overwhelmed with the wrong kind of fuel, energy production just plummets, cellular stress skyrockets, and that aging process kicks into high gear. And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. It's not about how many calories you're putting in, it's about how cleanly that fuel burns. A sweet potato gives you glucose in a slow, controlled way, all wrapped up in fiber, and that leads to high-efficient energy production. Refined sugar, on the other hand, floods the system all at once. It overwhelms the mitochondria like a cheap, wet log on a fire. It produces way more smoke than heat. And the result? You get low actual energy output and a ton of that damaging cellular stress, what scientists call free radicals. So it really is all about choosing foods that your little power plants can actually handle. We're talking about slow-release carbs from things like squash, beets, and legumes. We're talking stable, clean fats from avocados, nuts, seeds, and extra virgin olive oil. And just as important are the micronutrients. Think of these as the spark plugs and the lubricants for the whole engine, like magnesium, which you find in leafy greens and pumpkin seeds. It is absolutely essential for over 300 different reactions in your body, including making energy. Okay, we've come a long way. We've quieted the alarms of inflammation. We've provided clean, efficient fuel for our mitochondria. And now the body can finally turn its attention from playing defense to playing offense. It can turn to its most profound repair system. This is our third and final pillar, activating your deep cleanup crew. This right here, this is the payoff. For so long, your cells have been constantly fighting fires and trying to manage this overwhelming flood of fuel. They've been in a state of emergency. But now, with the crisis over, they can finally shift gears from defense and storage into deep repair and renewal. The cleanup crew can finally clock in for their shift. And that cleanup process has a name. It's called autophagy. This is the discovery that won Dr. Yoshinori Ohsumi the Nobel Prize. The word literally means self-eating, which I know sounds a little scary, but just think of it as your body's ultimate internal recycling and quality control program. Your cells methodically identify old, damaged, dysfunctional parts, like misfolded proteins or worn-out mitochondria, and they break them down, reusing the raw materials to build new, healthy components. It is the absolute key to cellular rejuvenation. So how do we switch it on? Well, the main signal isn't a specific food, but actually the absence of food. Take a look at this cycle. During the day, when we're eating, our insulin levels are up, signaling the body to build and to store energy. But after digestion ends, usually several hours after your last meal, insulin drops. That drop, that is the green light. That signals the body to shift gears and begin the deep cleanup of autophagy. This is why when you eat is just as important as what you eat. Giving your body that break is absolutely essential to let the recycling crew do its job. So, we've covered the 3 pillars from 3 incredible Nobel Prize winners: inflammation, energy, and cleanup. Now, let's put it all together into a single, actionable blueprint for longevity that you can actually use. And here it is, the whole blueprint on one slide. For inflammation, the problem is those constant false alarms. The solution is to eat real foods that send an all-clear signal. For energy, the problem is overwhelming our mitochondria. The solution is to give them clean, efficient fuel they can actually use. And for cleanup, the problem is that constant inflammation and excess energy block our repair mode. The solution is to give your body periods of rest. You can see how they all work together. It's so simple, really. You can't get to the deep cleanup if your body is still busy fighting fires. This quote just gets right to the heart of it. When our cells are under constant stress from inflammation and poor fuel, the body makes a logical choice. It defaults to short-term survival. It just doesn't have the resources for long-term maintenance and repair. So aging, in so many ways, is simply the slow, visible accumulation of all that deferred maintenance. It's the rust that builds up when the mechanics are just too busy to do their jobs. So we end right where we began, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. The science shows us, without a doubt, that our bodies have this incredible, innate capacity to repair and to rejuvenate. It is written into our biology. The real question is, are we creating the right conditions for that biology to flourish? Your body knows exactly how to heal. The only question left is, are you giving it the chance?